Kurt's just said that it's kind of day by day a little bit, but the fact that you're within touching distance, it probably quicker than expected.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, we are taking it like you said, step by step. But I am feeling good, and I'm trying my hardest to be back out there as soon as possible.
And with the way that you started the season, nobody ever wants to miss games. It must have made it almost even more frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's never a good time to get injured, but that didn't feel like a very good time. So yeah, it wasn't ideal. I felt like I was in some good form, and I'm hoping to just, whenever I am back, hoping to pick that up and to continue that.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've been watching the games. Are you a relaxed, sort of easygoing watcher?
No. I'm trying to get involved as much as possible. If that's being on the microphone to the dugout, or if I'm doing Robin's TV, or if I'm doing whatever, I'm trying to be as involved as possible. And it is hard when you're watching the lads and you can't quite get involved, and you want to be there and helping and whatnot. And I am on the edge of my seat, even if it is a calm game. So I'm like one of the fans when I'm watching. Yeah,
and actually, you're the kind of person, like you say, ever wants to get injured, but if it's happened, then you do what you can to make yourself better for when you are back out on the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to take these opportunities to strengthen everywhere, not just around the injury or the injury. I want to try and strengthen every aspect of my game, and whether that's watching and learning from opposition as well as us. I'm trying to just be a student as much as possible when I'm injured, and trying to hone in on different areas of my game and what I can do around the place and other bits and bobs, and try and help out as much as possible.
Yeah. So are there opportunities to, whether it's analysis or all the other things, to get involved and either you learn some things or maybe pass on some stuff that maybe others wouldn't have seen?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously when you're in the game, you don't see it from this perspective of, if I'm sat up in the stands or if I'm sat behind the dugout, you are a bit high, you can see a lot more of, if you're sitting in the gods upstairs, it's like, it makes football look really easy. You're like, why has he not seen that and seen that? But obviously it's so different when you're down there. So I try and go down at half time, or if it's before the game or whatever it might be, and try and give my perspective as much as possible, and just help the lads out as much as possible, and try and be as involved as I can.
Yeah, which is great to hear. I haven't spoken to you since your new contract, so congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
It must be nice to have got that signed and sealed and staying at a club that you obviously spent a very long time at.
Yeah, for sure. Long may it continue.
Yeah. Is that something that was it an easy decision when they came to you with the extension?
Yeah, we went back and forth a little bit, as normally you would. But yeah, it wasn't a tough choice, and I'm happy. So.
Which is great for the fans here, because they're desperate to have you around. But you'd only be human if the way you've been playing. There must have been at least a bit of other interest. So taking that into consideration, the fact that you've chosen to stay at City, says something about that.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I'm not blind to stuff, and speak with the people that represent me and whatnot, and we have those convos. But at the end of the day, I'm here and I'm happy.
Yeah, and obviously this week has been a pretty turbulent week with the manager going. It's something you'll have seen before. How's it been in the dressing room?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously tough. We work under a manager for a couple of years, and you have certain partnerships and whatnot, and that's not there. It's tough. It's not a nice situation. You don't want to see anybody lose their job, obviously. But at the same time, it's football, and we are fully focused on the weekend and trying to, the best way to, if you like, get over it. I don't want to say it like that, but if the best way to sort of focus on what's ahead is to go and get 3 points on the weekend, and I think everybody then will be a lot more confident in what's to come, and I think that's the best way to be. And I think us as a squad, us as a group, we have a very good group of lads downstairs, and I don't think anyone's too down there and worrying about anything. I think we're all banding together, and like we have done before, and we will do in the future. And I think we're a good group of lads that will push on.
Yeah, and you are very tight-knit, so I guess you can look out for each other and make sure that everybody is in the right headspace to do what you want and get 3 points at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Absolutely,
and that's like I said, that's the full focus is on that, and we don't want sort of like you said, it's been a turbulent week, but our focus has been on that. It would have been, if we had this convo a week ago, it would have been in 2 weeks' time. We're going to be focused on the next game, and whenever that comes and whatever we need to do to win that game.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Sorry to ask this, but can you take us back to the injury and when it happened? Because it's a bit of a weird one, where it was during the Plymouth game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So can you talk about sort of how it happened and what kind of followed?
Yeah, it was in the first half. There was a bit of a collision with Max. We've both come to block a shot. I've ended up just sort of, bending my knee in not the best way. Popped up a little bit, and I didn't feel anything sort of go drastically like that. I just thought it was a bit of an impact thing. And managed to play the rest of the game. Wasn't niggling me too badly. Wanted to stay on the pitch, obviously. I wanted to keep playing, and managed to get through the game. And then a couple of days later, sort of a bit of swelling happened, and we had to assess it and go from there and make sure that we did the right steps. And I feel like we did that well in the rehab. Spoke to the right people to sort of see whether we needed to intervene or whether we needed to just go down the rehab route. And we came to a decision to go down the rehab route, and I feel good. I feel strong, and for me it's been a long 6 weeks, but like I think we've seen this week, I've been back training, and like I don't know what's going to happen this weekend, obviously, but I feel good, so that's where we're at.
Because what's mad about it is obviously the seriousness of the injury and the fact at the end of that Plymouth game you're sprinting full pelt 20 yards from the edge of your box to make that challenge to stop the goal.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I'm just going to put it down to adrenaline. No, I don't know. I think it was just, like I said, it wasn't niggling me too badly, and I felt like I could get the ball, so...
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
There we are, yeah.
How's it, like, just from your own being back amongst the lads for training? Like, how long have you been back in training, so to speak?
Start this week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've had, obviously, tailored sessions before that, without the lads, me and Prox just out there working on little bits and bobs, and then this week I've been full training with the team. Again, still kind of tailored sessions, but that's kind of the time frame at the moment. We're seeing how it goes, and like Flem said, step by step. Same with a few of the other lads, obviously, and we'll see what happens.
And what's that been like for you, sort of mentally, being back amongst the team?
Yeah, good. Being inside is not what any footballer wants to do, and it was tough. Obviously trying to just get your head around the fact that you are going to be out for a certain amount of time, and you want to just be out there helping people and whatnot. But when you are back on the pitches, you relish it, and but you also have to make sure you're at the right stage. You can't just say you're okay and go back up too early. Which is tough when you are seeing lads. It's no secret that we've had a few injuries, and you are seeing boys sort of come into the physio room and join you, and you're like, and you want to just keep the spirits high as much as possible. So when you do get back on the pitch, it's a lovely feeling.
Flem sort of drew reference, talking about the week as a whole, sort of post Nigel, how some of the younger lads, they haven't been through it before, and it's a bit of a sort of a head spinning exercise at start. I just wonder, you as a kind of senior pro, I don't know if you consider yourself sort of like that.
Yeah.
Like, have you sort of taken on any kind of role in terms of like talking to them, or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if any of the boys were really down about the situation or didn't really understand what's going to happen next, obviously there's a bit of grey space for everybody at the moment, and that's why I think if we do have a goal at the end of the week, which is 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, don't think about anything else. Don't think about what's going to happen, who's coming in, don't think about anything else other than just the 3 points. I think it can sort of focus the boys a bit easier. So yeah, I mean, any chance I get, if I do speak to any of the lads that maybe haven't been through it, that's all I'm saying, really, to be honest with you. Let's just focus on the whole goal of this week is to get the 3 points and to go again and to, I guess, put your best foot forward for whoever comes in and make sure that we're a winning side going into whatever regime comes next. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the lads are obviously looking forward to the match. To, like you say, it's been a somewhat long week in terms of what's been going on. But the match can't come any sooner for us boys, and we want to make sure that we're out there and doing well.
Can you just sort of sum up kind of what Nigel did for you as a manager and a player, given the kind of reversal, maybe a bit strong, but in terms of like how your situation here changed, how you as a professional and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, I learned a lot. I developed a lot as a person, not just as a footballer. And I think that was the freedom of, getting treated as a man. When I think he came in when I was 23, 24, so not young, but not also in the part of not very experienced in terms of being in a team and making sure that I've, in that team for a couple of years, do you know what I mean? So for me, I learned a lot in that side of my life, I guess. Obviously I had some tough times, and there were times where, I mean, everyone knows, well documented, it was a difficult period for me. But I still didn't feel like there was any hatred or anything like that. Of course not. I was just, it was a learning curve for me, and that was something that when I did get back into the team and I did start going, it was very much like, he made it feel like it was very much me doing this and me learning and me sort of coming out the other side of a tough patch and developing myself. And I think that was the sort of freedom that he gave us as people, and he treated us as people, which was lovely. So yeah, I learned a lot and developed myself as a human, not just as a footballer, and I think that's invaluable.
With your analyst hat on now, seeing as you've been a sort of part-time analyst, what are you going to have to do on Saturday?
Well, it's going to be a tough opponent. Obviously, every team that you face in this league is going to be tough, especially the ones that are obviously down near the bottom. But they've obviously changed their manager, and from a player's perspective, everyone knows that. I mean, even more so now. Everyone knows when a new manager comes in, everybody wants to obviously impress. Everyone wants to put their best foot forward, and I think you're seeing that. I know a couple of the lads there anyway, so coming up against them, if I am going to be coming up against them, will be interesting. I know some of their strengths and some of their weaknesses, but obviously as a group, we know what we need to do and we know what they bring, and I think we'll have to be right at the races for a very sort of high intensity physical match, and that's something that we're relishing now, and we can also bring the same.
Last one from me. Quite a few players, and I appreciate you haven't been out for like that long. You've been out, it must have felt, as you said, felt like a long time. But like how much? A lot of people have spoken about a period of sort of self-improvement when they've been out, like sort of learning and developing sides of the game that perhaps you can't always do when you're in the midst of Saturday, Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Is that something you've done? And I just wondered, what have you tried to do during this period? Yeah,
so for me, I've definitely tried to hone in on the sort of mental side of the game, whether it be leadership or whether it be just general sort of, you can't train the concentration, but just making sure that you're sort of playing within that moment of the game, which comes obviously on the pitch, I know, but try to find little ways, little things that might help me if I do give the ball away, how do I switch back on? And instead of going, just trying to switch back on as much as possible. In terms of physically, try to bulk up a little bit as much as possible, I guess, because again, when you're training every day, it's hard to do that to a certain extent. And I think just in terms of being a better teammate, I guess, because when you're playing, you're not always thinking about the lads that are injured, that are, saying good luck to you before you go out every time and just showing their face every day, and putting on a brave, because they're going through it as well, putting on a brave face for you to make sure that you're feeling like the lads are here, we're all together, we are one, and whatnot. And I think just trying to be the best teammate I can be and trying to help the lads as much as possible.
Great stuff. Thanks, Zak.
Thanks, Zak. Taking you back to the announcement on Sunday, obviously, when we found out that Nigel had left the club, it caught a lot of people by surprise. Can I just ask sort of where you were when you got the news, your reaction to it, and actually if you have spoken to him since that moment? Yeah,
I was at home. Andy, the captain, sent a message out saying obviously he'd spoken to Brian. This is what is going to happen. This is who's going to be taking over for the time being, I guess. And yeah, I have spoken to him. I'm obviously not going to go into what I was saying and what we were talking about. But yeah, I have spoken to him, and yeah, that's kind of the reaction. I guess I was obviously as well, a bit like, oh, okay. But here we are, and like I said, it's fully focused on moving forward and trying to, tell yourself it's part of football, and we move on.
Obviously, we've already spoken about it, but you did have a great relationship with him, and he's been fantastic for you in your career. But he's been great for all the players here as well, really, hasn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, you can see it from a few of the boys that have come through and even moved on now. He gave opportunities to a lot of young players. Sorry, and like I said, I think you see a lot of the lads, the younger lads that are taking on big roles and responsibility. And I think about Tommy Conway, who's obviously a young lad. I think people forget that he is a young lad, and he's someone that takes on a lot of responsibility. He's got a big voice in the changing room. He's got big characters. Not often there, but he does. A very big voice. But yeah, so it's about. I think he had a good bond with a lot of the lads for sure.
Obviously, you say football does move on. A recruitment process is taking place at the moment. There's a lot of names being linked with this job. Is that actually exciting? Exciting feels the wrong word in some ways, doesn't it? Because obviously of your relationship with Nigel. But is it exciting when you see some of the names linked with this role? Yeah
and no, because we don't know who's coming in. So you might see names here and there that you might get excited about, but then you don't know what's going to actually happen. So yeah, I guess so. But as players, like I said before, every player wants to impress on day one and take that into the new regime. So for us, it will be exciting, obviously, who comes in, and we want to give 100% and properly buy into whatever system and whatever way and dynamic that comes. But we also have to wait and see. We're in the same shoes as you guys, and when we find out, I guess you'll find out. So,
and just finally, obviously, the decision to part company with Nigel split the fan base in a lot of ways. But what's your message to them ahead of this weekend in this match?
Just get behind the boys. To be honest, that's it. We've had some great support this season, and we've had we've had Ashton Gate rocking at times. So we want to make sure that we are like that on Saturday. I know obviously what's happened has happened, but we have to look forward. We have to look for the next thing that we all want, which is 3 points, and we have to make sure that everyone's together and united with that. And as much as it isn't, like you said, it's split the fan base, but everybody, we know all the fans are behind us as players, and we're the ones out there on the pitch. So we have to make sure that everybody is behind us, and I think that they are, and we feel that they are. So that's it. We've all got a common goal, which is 3 points on the weekend.